All right, chat, let's get the show on the road. It's Thursday, so you know prices are soft. Prices have been soft on most Thursdays. We got the hodl hat on. Hodlers only hodlers. If you want me to look at anything, let me know in the chat. We kind of just are all over the place. Has been tough on breakout trading. I again would separate long and short-term ideas. I would trade long-term ideas over multiple months and not confuse them. People asking me about Rivian. We can start there. You certainly don't want to see this going lower, but if this is a 5-year idea, 4-year idea, you got to give it some time to actually turn up, right? Now I don't like this, but for me it's a long-term idea. It's a January 2026 decision. I don't want to see this make a low below 1020. There would be, I'd be out. But I'm not adding, I'm not subtracting here, I'm not doing anything. I don't think there's anything to do. But yeah, you don't want to see this sitting on lows like this. Anything ever. It's real simple, folks. You want to make higher highs, you don't want to make lower lows. I know that's tough. That's tough for a lot of people to understand. But that's the goal here, to make higher highs and not lower lows. Zelva's here on Twitter. Nathan, what's up? Luffy, Tacky Dust. Seb is here. Is MSTR doomed? Yeah, MSTR. I'll take a look. Not great. Not great. Bitmine? You gotta let me know what the ticker is. I don't know what the ticker is for that. FFAI. Save your bags. Hopefully most people at this point in August have made a little bit of money, you know, so you can at least give a little back today. But Joey's here. Denny on Twitter. We can look at hype. XOVR. That's a new one. ARB. Sui, yeah. A lot of stuff just is back in the range again. You know, somebody mentioned it already, that breakouts have been like stalling and punished and challenging 100%. Even BTC at 120. Really, you'd think would be ready to go. But here we are back down below 120 again. So somebody's clearly selling 120 pretty hard, even notwithstanding the news, right? The news has helped this. The news being a hot PPI, an inflationary PPI. The news has helped us sell off, clearly, right? Down 4% on the day on Bitcoin, whatever this is. That doesn't just happen for no reason. Over 4%. That's a big down day for BTC at this level. They go from all-time highs to down 4%, right? There has to be something. So clearly the market did not like the hot PPI print, because that implies a lower likelihood of Fed rate cuts. Market was pricing in cuts. Jay Powell speaks next week at Jackson Hole. If he comes out and is turbo hawkish and says, sorry, the data doesn't tell us to cut, market is going to be very angry. Very angry. Yeah, I agree with Zelva. Truflation is low. What came in this week? CPI came in low. That's why the market got super excited with the assumption that we're going to start cutting. So, you know, stuff is just all over the place on any given day. We're getting retail sales tomorrow. If retail sales tomorrow are poor, then is that going to be another catalyst for something else? Does it mean we're recessionary, right? Like, are we cutting for the right reasons? The good reasons to try to stabilize and get normal again? Or are we cutting because it's all over end it all now, that sort of situation. So I don't know. That's why I like to stick to the TA. Even if we're talking about any news item, any treasury company, I don't care what it is. I don't care. I just don't care. I prefer to just look at the TA and go from there. Zelva's on Twitter if you want to say hi on the Twitter chat. Thanks for Toshi. All right, so that's Rivian. You know, you don't want to see this making lows. I'm not doing anything with it. I'm underwater in this position. I'm gonna let it be. We'll see what happens in Q4. That's that, right? It's not a mega-sized position for me. It is not going to kill me if I have to trigger a stop loss. So I'd keep that in mind. But it's a longer-term idea, just like figs. Just in comparison, this is why, ideally, you're running your screen based on back testing or forward testing, aka what has worked for you, what has made you money. Find that. Find as many of those as you can. Then you rank them. You say, okay, this one looks really good. This one's kind of garbage, but still qualifies. And then from there, you go sizing. Okay, this one that looks really good, slam dunk, I'm going to size that as maximum as I'm comfortable with sleeping at night. This other one, maybe a little less. So just, again, it does not matter that this is figs and Rivian. This is a scrubs company. One's an EV company, right? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Similar multi-year downtrend. This is what you wanted Rivian and what you want Rivian to look like, obviously. It's making higher highs. That's it. It's not hard. If you're bullish, you're making higher highs. I don't care why. I don't care that if sales are doing whatever. I don't care. It just doesn't matter. What is happening with price? So this chart looks phenomenal. I'd be adding on this. I should add more today. My figs position is definitely bigger than my Rivian position based on how the chart looks. And I don't think REMX is quite in that camp of multi-year consolidation, but it has been going down for a long time. And clearly there's been a shift for whatever reason. China, EV, AI, data center, HPC, it doesn't matter. What does the chart say? The chart says we're making a higher high for the first time in a long time. So I still like this chart. Still looks good. Still looks good. What was the other one I had in my head? Can't remember. But you know, we can look at liquidity. We can look at whatever we want and say, okay, liquidity is going higher. Still plenty of room. Not worried about Bitcoin. Not worried about gold. Individually, there's going to be some issues here, obviously, and we can look at MSTR. MSTR has never looked this bad, I don't think, relative to BTC. You can look at that in a few ways. The screaming, poking your eyeballs out, danger zone is closing in the cloud. You do not want to close in the cloud. Period. End of story on the daily. Especially after teasing a breakout and then giving it all back. And that's not really the worst part. The worst part is this chart, which I keep posting on Twitter. MSTR over IBIT. If you're telling me you're supposed to be 2x BTC, act like it. If you're not acting like it, more people are going to be selling, and it's just this self-fulfilling prophecy, just like it was on the way up. More people are going to say, all right, enough's enough. Where does that stop? I don't know. What catalyst is there going to be to reverse this? I don't know. But today, as we sit here, this does not look bullish. This looks bad. This looks very bad. Very no bueno. So you can hit me with anything. SPY inclusion, record revenue. I don't care. What is the price telling you? Clearly something's wrong here. Clearly. That's not great for MSTR. I don't have BITU on here. I thought about adding yesterday, just ran out of time. And then today, I do not like the fact that we gave up so much so quickly. Never a good sign. Not that I'm bearish, not that I don't think we go higher. It's just, do I want to be a leverage in front of Jay being bearish on the podium next week? Not really. Do I want to be on leverage going into September? Not really. You can argue about August seasonality. Say post-halving, it maybe is bullish most of the time. But September seasonality, historically, always not good. So I don't really want to get in front of that if the chart just isn't there. Even though we did break 120, I don't know. It's just tough. It's just tough. I've been trimming alts. I've been nibbling BTC on the spot side, but no leverage here for me just yet. I wanted to get into an options position, but it just didn't happen so far. Big boy, what's up, Mike? Big boy games getting played with Bitcoin. Something, yeah. You know, I don't think it's manipulation, but some strange stuff going on, that's for sure. To see us, a lot of this was, what is it? Galaxy selling BTC, right? But to see this just getting crushed over and over and over again at a high, it's just, you know, it's like the war of attrition out here on the bull side. I still like the target. I still like this end of year. If we see a rally in Q4, we probably go much higher. But that's the first step. Let's just do this, chat. Let's just do this. Let's break the yearly pivot. I don't even care. Let's take off the cloud, take off the targets, take off everything. Let's just close above the yearly pivot for more than a day and see what we can do. Chart looks fine. This is a bearish engulfing today. Not a great candlestick. What does the weekly look like? The weekly also not a great candlestick. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to take some time. Looked like we were ready to go. This kind of is what it is. Is what it is. BITU is leveraged BTC relative to IBIT, which is 1x BTC. MSTR mean reversion. Yeah, I would be very careful with any assumptions about anything, including MSTR, including BMNR. I don't care what it is. I would be very careful, assuming things are going to act the way they are based on X dollars being thrown at ETH or any coin. I would be very careful. This is BMNR in the 30-minute, kind of stalling out. These have been moving very quickly, so I've been watching them on extremely low time frames. That's worked out for SBET. Again, it's gone nowhere. This kind of has like a little head and shoulders thing. And you can come at me with whatever you want. Oh, they're going to raise another 50 trillion to buy ETH. Fine. Tell that to the chart. Tell that to price. Like, don't tell it to me. Don't tell it to me. These charts should look a lot better, right? Unless it's already priced in. This was another one that has thus far given it all back. CEPO, one of the Bitcoin treasury plays. Wrong cloud. Started to look good here. I'm still holding this, but if we start making new lows below 1045, you know, that's not where you want to be. Again, it's not difficult. It's real easy. It's real easy. If you're bullish, you're not making lower lows. I can tell you that. In all my years trading, I can tell you that. All right, Nathan's asking me about this ticker I never heard of. Now I'm just curious. I'm just curious because what the hell is this thing? Private public crossover ETF. Assuming this is what it is, which I assume it is. Public, private. What is the... Is there a dividend? Maybe not. So I would do the same thing I do in every chart. This is basically QQQ. That's what it looks like. First step, is there a chart pattern? There was down here. Plus you had a cloud breakout. So you're telling me where should you exit or where I would exit. I can't tell you what to do. That's not what this is about. So first step, again, this looks just like the Qs, whatever. There's that. If we pop on a trailing stop loss, Williams fractals, let's see, here was a judgment call, then you got another one, judgment call, and then today in the zone of the zone of expectations for the range break on the pattern. Now, that's enough for me to say, see ya, sayonara, I'm out. That's me. And we can look at ENA. Great example. Again, people coming at me with all sorts of stuff. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying I don't care. If we're talking about, gotta find the right chart here. 1 second. It's on Kraken. Yeah. So you want to be looking at this stuff pre-breakout. Duh. You don't want to be here after the move happens. Who cares? As it's happening, you're measuring this out. Okay, where could this go? Best case scenario. And then from there, this is what I do. I say, all right, let's let it play out. I gave this one, I don't know, 3 months to play out. It's not like I was a genius. I was just looking where this could go. And then I had asks everywhere up here, right? You can do this easily on Kraken with ladder orders. I don't move them. I don't touch them. I sold the rest of this today because I didn't like how this looks. Didn't technically breach a Williams fractal, but I never do anything different. It's always the same. Nothing changes. Do I do it better than anybody else? I don't think so. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Just telling you what I do. And that's what I do. That's how I exit positions that have played out like that. So for your XOVR stuff, again, like this, if you're in from 17, I would be over the moon with this. That's just me. If it's a short-term trade. If it's a long-term trade, if it's something else, then, you know, it's a different story. Is MSTR a leading indicator for BTC? Man, I hope not. It was pre-election, right? It was pre-election. If it's a leading indicator here, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. I think MSTR's got a lot of competition from other treasury companies, other altcoin treasury companies. They've been buying less BTC because the MNAV has been crushed. They've got people trading the MNAV specifically. You know, they're shorting MSTR, longing Bitcoin. All that stuff is not helping the price, right? Not helping. Filling a CME gap. Yeah, probably. What is it? There's a gap. Oh, have we filled it? Is it official? No, not yet. 1174 on futures would be filling it. Sure. The general idea is all gaps are filled eventually. Probably not the same day, but in short order. So that's why you want to try to not have gaps. And this is only a legacy problem because legacy has opens and closes. So that's not continuous. If you want to really get, you know, you want to talk about gaps, there's a gap. Here's a gap right back here. This is a gap that never got filled. 20K, right? So like, what do? That's the SVB gap, by the way. When SVB blew up and got bailed out. Is that a bear market level target? I don't know. Like, so yeah, they usually get filled, not always. Usually it's pretty quick, not the same day. Is it a science? I don't think it's necessarily a science, but that's an unfilled gap. Strategic Reserve officially stating they aren't buying BTC. It's a signal it's over. Sell it all. I don't think I assumed that they were going to be outright buying. I always kind of assumed they were going to be just confiscating or not selling. There was a discussion about selling gold and buying BTC. There was a discussion about buying BTC with tariffs, but nothing concrete. So I'm not disappointed. The market clearly is upset, obviously. What's up, Karen? Why should MSTR have any NAV premium? Because they have the ability to use leverage and bring in capital outside of just equity markets, convertible bonds, that sort of thing. So for BTC, what do I do here? Man, I don't know. I do not know. Giant mess. No continuation. Everything just getting run over on all the time frames. So I'm just sitting tight. I don't really see much to do here. Let this get angry. See what happens next week. I got nothing else really. I got nothing else. ETH, same story. This is the story of most charts right now in the market that have done well since April. I was selling, you know, again, like it's not a secret what I do. I'm just like, oh, okay, this is the zone. Ladder orders from 4,000 to 5,000. Cool. See you in a couple months. See you in a week, whatever. So I'm happy with ETH here. That's a short-term idea. That's not a long-term idea. The long-term ETH people are looking at this, right? They're saying, okay, did we technically hit an all-time high? We didn't. Oh, thanks for playing. Maybe next time. Long-term ETH people are looking at this. Ascending triangle. It's above a resistance level. I'm not disagreeing with any of that, but that may take another couple months to get us there. Yes, I know there are treasury companies buying. I'm not going to disagree with you. So could this keep pushing? Maybe. I don't know. Short term, would I want to hold a bunch of leverage here? No. That's just me. We also have a div that's pretty large at this point. Now, bear divs can last for a long time. They can continue to just, we can get 3 drives, we can get 4 drives on less and less momentum. But this is also another sign that says maybe it's going to take a minute. Maybe it's going to take a minute. So I don't have any ideas for ETH here short term, like AKA within the next 2 months. Let's see how it looks in September. At the end of September, how does it look? Are we at 36? Are we at 33? Are we at 45? Like what, you know, are we at 7? I don't know. But here today, I have nothing. I have no idea. One way you could trade this is daily fractals again. We haven't gotten a daily fractal since 3,700. So on the next higher high, that would be a potential trade, but here the daily's not really calling out anything at all. Yeah, someone misanthropy on Twitter. Speaking of the long-term conversation, I don't know if these are necessarily COVID darlings. Peloton certainly was. But you know, I want to put it in that long-term idea bucket. Purely based on technicals, nothing else. I'm not going to disagree with you that this looks decent. Looks very decent on a high time frame. Why this thing would go up, I don't know. Is Apple going to buy them? Like, does it matter? I don't know. I'm just thinking outside the box here. PayPal was similar. Looks distinctly worse to me than Peloton. But yeah, Peloton, Figs, Rivian, same vibes. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I had a small MSTR bag today. Someone's talking about selling their MSTR. I sold mine today. You know, enough's enough. Just gonna let it play out how it's gonna play out. And that's that. Yeah, Peloton looks really good. I guess we'll talk about Sol. Sol is a giant mess. It still has plenty of TA targets higher. It's outperforming BTC today. You know, it looks fine. Is it going to knock your socks off near term? Probably not. But it looks fine. It's above the cloud. Good things happen above the cloud. I just don't have like a setup. You could say, well, it's back to the breakout at 185. Still has plenty of room, no matter how you measure this. And if you're on the long-term camp, you think this is going to 1,000, then, right? What do you care? What do you care about any of these levels? Let me find a chart. This is the, this is only for the turbo bulls. So turbo Sol bears look away, but this would be the idea, which is an absurd measurement, but you just take the depth. So if we're calling this a cup and handle, I don't think that's wrong. It's just you need to see some stuff happen first. So I don't hate the idea. You at least have justification that this potentially goes higher. And it's kind of the same justification you'd use on Bitcoin for this, right? You'd say, well, if this is a inverted head and shoulders, cup and handle, whatever, targets, this is like the cycle over target up there. 188 to 340. So there's TA rationale for it on ultra high time frames. You gotta let it play out if you're in that camp, which my cold storage hat is certainly in that camp. Nothing to do on the cold storage. It's just if we go down this list, someone's talking about Arbitrum. I mentioned ADA last night on the video, and that one held up better than most of the market. It still looks okay. You know, it broke out, gave it all back. It's basically flat on the day where everything else is negative. I don't know. Is this like a great trade? Who knows? But at least it's not making new lows. Arbitrum also, if it's on my list here. This one, also pretty clean on the breakout. Where's the stupid fibs? They're there. We go something like that. Plenty of room. Yeah, I don't hate it. I do not hate it. My bags right now, I'm still holding like Whiff and Pepe from like months ago. Charts don't look great, but my assumption here is that if ETH and Sol move, eventually these are going to do well. Eventually. But that's like a Q4 idea. That's not a today idea. Luke's calling the top of the bull run. It's over, according to Luke. The book, according to Luke, it's over. Just wanted to put that on the record. Galaxy, sure. Still looks fine. Again, if you're bullish, like there's stuff to add, there's stuff to open. It's holding the range. You don't want to see this make lower lows, so below 25. If I move my alert up below 25, after hanging out this long, you know, you don't want to see that. Plus, you'd be in the cloud at that point. So how patient do you want to be? How much down do you want to eat for September? That's the question you should be asking at this point. For some of these alts, my answer would be none of it. I don't want to eat any of that. But for some of this stuff, I don't know. Let it be. Let it do its thing. Yeah, Zach, you're right about BNB. You might have access to it on Kraken. I just it's just not in my like list of tradable assets, so I just don't even bother thinking about it ever. But yeah, you're probably not wrong. Just catching up with chat. Yeah, wormhole. Again, I just like the chart. I don't care anything about what's going on. Now it helps that maybe there's some like multi-chain flows as alts wake up. I don't know. I have a very small bag of this. I'm going to be adding on any higher high. Don't have an alert on here, but I have it on Kraken. Same thing with Aptos. You know, like founder's gone, chain is dead. Okay, cool. If this starts making higher highs, I'm in for more. Till then, let it die. Who cares? Let it go. Let it go. Ave. Looks fine. But this is kind of like the state of everything where it's like, yeah, it's bullish, but it hasn't really gone anywhere in a couple months. What do you do? Do you do anything? Buy, sell, or hold? I don't like seeing this potentially, so I'd be careful. But if you're bullish DeFi, if you're on the cup and handle camp here, what's there not to love about Aave at this level? It just depends. Again, how much do you want to eat for September? If nothing, trim sell. If everything, hold. Hodl. Do nothing. Hodor. That's it. You know, I don't see anything else. And we could go down the rest of this list. Sui, same deal. Back into the range. Looked great yesterday. Say, back into the range. AVAX, back into the range. LTC, Ripple, back into the range. Ondo, back into the range. Everything. I don't think the trade isn't there. I just think it might take a month and a half for this to actually move, if it does. Link, I got nothing to say about Link. Like ENA, like ETH, to me, anything that's done well in an outsized way is going to need some time to set up more for me to care. So am I trading laggards at this point? Yeah, I am. But I don't know. Is that going to be right at the end of the day? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe ETH just goes straight to 7. I don't know. It's going to do it without me probably. MRVI. Something life sciences. Don't hate it. I don't hate it. Needs a little bit more time. Q4. You know, if we look at all of biotech, we go XBI. XBI, this is the biotech ETF. This thing, by the way, had a massive, like, textbook head and shoulders. Never actually broke down. Multi-year, right? You know, you can see it. Okay, fine, whatever. On the daily, started to creep up. Biotech to me does best in a low rate environment. You know, it's like highly speculative. So I'm sure you could dig into this and see what you like and don't like on the ETF side. But even the 3x, I don't think, to be clear, I don't think now is the right time to be trading this in the general environment of things, but it's one way to express an idea. That idea being, I think rates are going lower within the next couple months. But the technicals look pretty good. IWM is another way to express that idea. The problem with this index is it doesn't really move much. So again, it's not going to like blow your socks off here. Even TNA, which is 3x IWM, doesn't really move too much. You could argue there's still a decent trade. This is a 30 to 60% move on a leveraged ETF. So there are ways to get the juice if you want the juice. But yeah, MRVI looks okay. Bottoming. What else we got? Unity. Is this the same guy? It's like one guy asks me about Unity every time. And this is a great reminder that like if you're bullish, just it's going to take some time. This took a year to set up. It's going to take some time. I'm reminded of WPM, which is a miner. I think it's a miner out of Canada, right? This took 4 years to set up. It's still going. It took a long time to get there, but it's still going. The gold miners ETF also looks really good. It took many years to set up. It's still going. The crypto folk have to dial down the dopamine for the legacy stuff because it just takes a long time to play out. Long time to play out. So if you're bullish anything crypto, again, I would hold it for a few months and, you know, see what happens. See what happens. Don't trade what you can afford to lose. And see what happens. SPXU. SPXU. Oh, baby. Ultra short. So you're just anti. This is the anti-America ETF. Get him, chat. Get him. What's his name? What's his address? How dare you? How dare you? You're loaded up on this as a hedge. I mean, I guess the problem is we we don't really stay bearish. We have bearish days, bearish weeks, but we don't stay bearish. I'm not saying that can't be the case here. S&P looks fine. VIX looks moisturized, unbothered, and in its lane. It literally could not care about anything that's going on today. This is very much like, to me, a crypto-centric. What is IWM's down 1.5. S&P's slightly red. BTC very angry. Crypto very angry. So I guess if you're trading puts or short or whatever, then you're expecting VIX to spike. Some volatility event, like downward volatility, right? What else we got? RGTI. Take a look at that. Sol we talked about. Looks fine for higher. It's going to take some time. Somebody named Deny on Twitter says, I refuse to cover hype because of my sponsor. I'm no longer sponsored by anyone. It's just similar to BNB. A lot of these exchange tokens are just not in my head as tradable assets for me. So I just don't have a high priority. I don't care. If you're bullish, total 2, total 3, others, DEXs, stable coins, RWA, crypto, you shouldn't trade this. You should just own it. Again, January 2026, January 1st, 2026 for taxes. That's when I would reassess. Say, okay, do I want to sell this? That's it. Now, short-term technicals here. You're getting a mixed TK cross. You're getting mixed head and shoulders-y. I'm just making stuff up here with the bearish lens. I don't think there's a strong case either way. If this looked a little closer to GLD, which even GLD has chopped around a lot, Look at this. Look at this ugliness. I don't think it looks as clean as GLD, and GLD looks like a mess, right? It's refused to break out, refused to hold on to these highs. It's all over the place. So I don't have a clean read. That's my other issue with hype. I don't have anything to say. I was using the wrong cloud, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. I just don't have anything to say. So it's not like I'm ignoring it. I don't know. The other problem with hype is you got a lot of community members, folks. A lot of community members. A lot of community members. Yeah, I looked at ARB. It looks good. I still like it for higher. Anything that has a setup that has not moved is fine in my book. That is not ENA. That is not ETH. That is not Link. Those have already moved. What else are we talking about in the chat? I'm just reading. Bear whale added again. How much do I hodl through a bear? This bear market, probably zero, but we'll see. Probably full liquidation this bear market for me. Then reassess 2027, probably. Not your keys, not your coins. Wolf did have some positive news. Too many people expecting Bitcoin to perform like it did in the past. Everything fundamentally is different. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, we have a lot of diminishing returns. We have a lot of, the OG Bitcoin people can see the diminishing returns and understand. Like, not to throw Whale Panda under the bus, but he's like constantly talking about how Bitcoin's underperforming everything, which it is. But at the same time, do you really expect mega moves every day like we've had previously? I think once in a while, sure. But, are we going to see 20% days? No, we're not going to see 20% days. What's up, Mickey? TLT. He just comes in here, drops a bomb. He's like, TLT? Thoughts? TLT? I still like AG. AG is the blend. AG is the 40 and the 60-40. This is not a, retire trade. It's a confidently stick money somewhere in the near term trade. So that's AG. Trying to make some modicum of highs. IEP? No, IEV? Yeah. Right? What is it? I forget what it is. The longer duration one. That one looks okay, but TLT to me, I would want to see a higher high first. Because I don't know, like, you're just chopping around. So, like, if you're in the full recession camp, if you're in the people are going to buy my bags camp because they're afraid, then you go to TLT. But is this going to outperform anything? I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, stack it up. Stack it up. Here's IBIT. IBIT divided by TLT. Hasn't worked out. Doesn't look bearish. Let's go GLD. GLD. Maybe a better case for a little bit of a move to TLT. Maybe an ascending triangle still. If we go Mag 7 ETF. Making a new high against TLT. So I don't like TLT here at all. That's me. I haven't talked about miners in a while, so let's just do that quickly. There's a lot of nothingness going on with the miners collectively. Wolf is up 53% today on that Google AI HPC news. The cloud trader in me is going to say good things happen above the cloud. Did I own any of this before the move? I did not. I was in Bitfarms for the same reason. Hasn't done anything, but it is above the cloud. If we look at Mara, below the cloud, in the cloud. Riot, just kind of giving it all back. Cores, in the cloud, at the cloud. Cypher, back in the range. BT, in the cloud, at the cloud. Hut actually looks okay. It's trying to make higher highs, you know, especially relative to the group. How do the individuals look relative to the group today? Course has not outperformed in a long time. In a long time. And then IREN still looks good. Still holding on to those highs. Maybe some sort of inverted head and shoulders thing up here. Looks good, especially relative to the group. If you're underperforming the index, which is WGMI, and that's not alpha. But if you're outperforming, you know, Wolf is an extreme outlier today, but that's the stuff you want to shoot for. What looks good relative to the group? Most of the group looks like junk. What does Hive look like? Hive looks okay. So out of Bitfarms and Wolf, I chose the wrong one. I chose poorly. But it doesn't look as bad relative to the group. Not that that matters. WIF we talked about. I don't see anything there. You need Sol probably to 350 before WIF starts moving. Luke, it's over. Luke says sell your cold storage. The government's not buying our bags. It's over. It's all over, guys. I'm ignoring it. It's right there. It's right there. We got here without the government. I think we can continue without the government. I think we'll be just fine. Just reading. Ordy. If you got any legacy stuff in the last few minutes here, we haven't talked about too many legacy charts. Ordy. Yeah, it's, you know, I'd put it in the group of the other stuff that looks similar, where it's got like this rounded bottom flag triangle thing. The breakout trader, me, would always play the breakout, so I don't care about the range. I want this back above, what is it, 10, 11? So until it's back up here, I don't care. But yeah, I like how this looks. I like how it's setting up. We'll put it like that. I like how it's setting up. I said, should we cancel stream today? Stuff was getting angry. I tried to cancel it. People said no. The show must go on. Rumor of a crypto firm blowing up? I hadn't heard that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Stop the stream. Yeah, we talked about ARB and ADA. Both look fine, especially relative to the rest of the market. They're post-breakout at the resistance level and look like they want more. So I don't hate it. Can't knock it. XYZ block. This is another one. It's in range hell. Range hell for years. So breakout trading, you like this at 85. We'll set an alert on it. I'm ready to get hurt again on XYZ at 85. Until then, I don't care. Now you could argue, well, it's above the high time frame cloud here. It is a bullish TK cross, soon to have a bullish cloud. You could cheat it a little bit under 85 if it starts to look better, but you got to keep in mind, this has not been a range that has been rewarded. It's like SMLR, right? Like, okay, you're a treasury company. You're whatever you're doing. Why are you trading this? I don't know. Not for me. Not for me. RGTI, this move. Oh, hey, look at that. Moving up a little bit. This is the chart MSTR wants to look like. This is what MSTR could have looked like. It just doesn't, you know. This looks very good to me. Should probably add to this after the stream. What was the other one I was going to buy? Oh, figs. Add to figs. Add to RGTI. RGTI looks really good. What defensive stance will you take after this cycle's top? Bullets, canned goods, barbed wire, chicken feed, antibiotics in that order. No, I wouldn't go into TLT. I just think they're issuing too much on the long end. You'd have to see debt issuance go down or demand go way up. I would rather just play the short end. It's going to be 2.5 to 3.5% or whatever, but that's one place to go. You could go into like a small cap cash cow SCHD is an example. It's a dividend equity ETF. You're not really here for the price. You're here for the dividend. There's a ton of these cash. What is it called? Is it just cash? Cash cow? What is it? I'm blanking. There's a bunch of these. Cow? Cows. There it is. COWZ. So the idea here being the price is the price, whatever, I don't care. Ideally, it's not turbo bearish, but you're getting a dividend above the risk-free rate, short-term risk-free rate. So it's either stuff like this or I think shorter end stuff, not long end, not for me. Bears do be bear posting. Bears do be bear posting. Arrow. One of the few that held its highs. It's kind of a mix between like Link. It's just tough because feels a little late. Not bearish, but like what do you do here? Buy, sell, or hold? I don't know, man. What is this? High, slightly higher? I don't know. It never really gave you a great signal unless you're just saying it's above the cloud. It's go time, right? It's not bad. It doesn't look bad, but yeah. I don't see much here. Just reading. Gambling. What? Who just got arrested? No. I'm going to check after the stream's over. Luke is already funding us. If he's funding us more, that's not good. What fib levels do I take profit? Yeah, it's usually the 1618. 2 is not a fib, but it is the measured move. 2x the measured, 2x the depth. Any altcoin outlier BNB. You're welcome, deny. I hyped up hype real good. Now they're all gonna buy it. They're gonna buy your bags so fast, bro. Still plan to do streams. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I might take a break, but I'm not going anywhere. Citigroup chart is insane. Yeah. Looks like IREN, doesn't it? Is this the right CAD? What is this? CAD hedged? The hell? Isn't that the ticker? Oh, it's just C. Okay. Either way. This is the tough part, right? And we've talked about this for weeks, months now even. If you didn't trade the breakout or on the way to the move, what do you do here? What do you do here? I don't have a good answer. That's why you gotta be super confident in setups, breakouts, trend, etc. to say, okay, now's the time. Now's the time. That was May. Still looks great. You know, it's just what's the expected move from here? It's tough to say. Tough to say. Yeah, Oklo. Deny is denying the hype shill. Do we believe him? I don't know. I don't know if we believe him. How do I weight my take profit orders? They're in the Kraken desktop ladder system. You can equal weight them, or you can concentrate them at the middle of the range. So sometimes I do a mix of both, but usually I just throw them on there, equal weight, call it a day. That's it. I love it. People are too funny. It's over, guys. It's over. All right, last few here. Oklo. Then I gotta remember. I gotta write this down. What do we talk about? Figs and what else? What did I say? Figs, Peloton, RGTI. Yeah. Look, I only want one thing. It's simple. Higher highs. That's all I want. That's all I care about. All right, Oklo. I still like the chart. I still like the pattern. I still like the target. They had some positive news on government contract yesterday. Anything below, I think we talked about this last week, didn't we? You don't want it below 65 because then it's below the daily Kijun there. So, you know, do you want this sitting on the breakout level? No, that's not a good sign. Do you want this below 65? That's a very bad sign. So that's probably where I'm just out, is like below 65 on a daily close. I still like this potential. Similar to Galaxy, like this chart looks very similar. It's just sitting there. I don't like this head and shoulders low time frame stuff. That's not comforting. So I would love it if it negated that. So I don't love ads here. I like ads at higher highs, but not here. That's for me personally. I'm still in it though. I think it looks okay. Thank you, Mustafa. He's my my scribe. Just need the AI. Every time I mention a ticker, just if I say buy, it just buys, right? All right, somebody had a list. What is SWKS? Skyworks Solutions. Let's take a look. Okay. Yeah. Little inverted head and shoulders action above the cloud. Has been down only for a long time. I don't hate it. It reminds me of, was it this? Yeah, how does this look today? Somebody called this out at least a month ago. It's, what is it, a Australian miner, I think, right? I said I liked REMX better, but this, you know, look, you get a pattern like this, that is a very good sign. That's why I was talking about ADA. Like, I cannot stand the chain. I cannot stand anything about it. But if you're making inverted head and shoulders fractals, that's evidence enough. Let it rip. All right, real quick, a few more, then we get out of here. TER, T-E-R. Teradyne. Yeah. Above the cloud. It's in what, the AI conversation? I don't hate it. It's up a lot, but I don't hate it. NBIS is also another cup and handle breakout. Love it. Still plenty of room there. Another AI play. LTBR. Nuwanda's coming in here. He's just giving alpha every week, folks. What would we do without him? This looks like a rising wedge, though. I don't think I like this one as much. Am I wrong? Where's Slime? Get Slimer in here. Slimer's going to tell you. I speak Slimer, so I would know. He's going to tell you, or she, or they, or them. I don't know. They're going to tell you that's a rising wedge. So I'd be careful with that one. Ovid. Wow. He had a massive candle yesterday. Giant mess. It's all over the place. It's not bearish, right? Like, it's not bearish. Is it too late? Was his question. I don't think it's too late. It kind of reminds me of MSOS. What does that look like today? This is the cannabis ETF. Something else somebody called out before the breakout that I just didn't believe in. I didn't trade it, but looks very good. This is on regulatory. We have a president who's very emotional, very unpredictable. So if he changes his mind on the reducing the regulations for cannabis or whatever we're doing here, moving it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 or whatever, if he changes his mind on that, then this should do poorly, but technicals look very good. Ovid is Matt's. Ah, okay. In that case, dump it. No, I'm kidding. It looks fine. It's through the cloud. Good things happen above the cloud. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Double bottom on MSOS. Yeah, there is and was. It's just, is it too late here? Don't know. I didn't think you'd like. See, Amanda, he gave us a trap, chat. He set us up. He was like, I'll show him. He thinks I'm always bullish on everything. It was a trap. Not today, Amanda. Not today. All right, we'll end it there. That's all I got for this one. Give me like, comment, share, subscribe, DJT, a little encore, a little bonus. You're telling me double bottom. I don't see it. You let me know in the comments. I don't see it. I would want this just above 22. That is an ugly chart. It's very tough to trade this on trend when there isn't a trend, when there's just crazy volatility. I don't care about the fundamentals, but if the chart looks like this, I'm just less apt to want to care. You could just draw a giant diagonal on this thing and say, all right, if we can get above 22, I'm in. Till then, I don't care.